Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm so happy you are here with me today. In this episode, we are going to talk about something very important for English learners. Have you ever tried to speak English, but suddenly your mind became blank? Have you ever wanted to say something, but no words came out of your mouth? That feeling is called freezing. Many English learners freeze when they try to speak. You may know the words, you may know the grammar, but in the real conversation, you stop. You feel stuck. You cannot continue. Don't worry, my friend. You are not alone. This happens to millions of learners around the world. Even people who are very good at English sometimes freeze. So, if it happens to you, it does not mean you are bad at English. It simply means you need to understand why it happens and how to deal with it. In this podcast, we will explore this problem step by step. First, I will explain what it really means to freeze in a conversation. Then we will look at the main reasons why people freeze. After that, I will share practical tips and routines that you can use to stop freezing and speak with more confidence. So, stay with me. This episode will give you clear answers, simple tips, and new motivation. By the end, you will feel more ready to face your next English conversation without fear. All right, let's get started. Now, let's first understand what freezing really means in English conversation. When I say freeze, I don't mean the cold weather. I mean the moment when your brain and your mouth stop working together. You know what you want to say, but the words do not come out. It feels like your mind becomes empty, like a computer that suddenly stops working. For example, imagine you are at school, and your teacher asks you a question in English. You know the answer in your language, but when you try to say it in English, your mind blocks. You feel nervous, and you cannot speak. That is freezing. Another example is when you meet a new person, and they ask, "How are you?" You know this is a very simple question, but in that moment you feel shy, and you say nothing or you only smile. That is also freezing. Freezing can happen in many places. In the classroom, in a job interview, when talking to foreigners, even when speaking online in a video call. It usually happens when you feel pressure to speak well, or when you are worried about making mistakes. So, freezing is not about forgetting English. It is about your brain stopping because of stress, fear, or pressure. In the next part, we will look at the main reasons why this happens to so many English learners. All right. Now that we know what freezing means, let's ask the big question. Why do people freeze in English conversations? There are many reasons, and today I will explain the most common ones. As I talk, I want you to think about yourself. Which of these reasons happens to you? Understanding your reason is the first step to solving the problem. 1. Fear of making mistakes. Many learners freeze because they are afraid of making mistakes. You think, what if I say the wrong word? What if my grammar is not correct? What if people laugh at me? This fear makes your brain stop. Instead of speaking, you stay quiet. But remember, mistakes are normal. Everyone makes them, even native speakers. But when fear is strong, it can block your words. 2. Lack of confidence. Another big reason is low confidence. You may think, my English is not good enough, or other people speak better than me. This negative thinking makes you shy. You don't believe in yourself, so your voice disappears. Confidence is like a muscle. If you don't train it, it becomes weak. 3. Not enough vocabulary. Sometimes you freeze because you don't know the words. You want to explain something, but you can't find the right word. Your brain keeps searching, and while you wait, silence grows. Finally, you give up. This happens when you know some English, but your vocabulary is still small. 4. Thinking in your native language. Many learners try to translate every sentence from their native language into English. This takes time. While you are translating, the other person is waiting. Suddenly, you feel pressure. You get nervous, and your brain stops. This is why thinking in English is very important. 5. Pressure to speak fast. Like natives. Maybe you listen to native speakers, and they speak so quickly. Then, you try to speak the same way. But your brain and mouth are not ready for that speed. So you freeze. Remember, speaking slowly is okay. Clear communication is more important than speed. 6. Fear of judgment or embarrassment. Another reason is social pressure. You worry about what other people will think about you. You think they will laugh at my accent, or they will think I am stupid. This fear of judgment can be very strong, and it can make you stop speaking completely. 7. Overthinking. During conversation. Sometimes the problem is not lack of words but too much thinking. You think about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and other people's reactions, all at the same time. Your brain becomes too full. When you think too much, you cannot speak naturally, and you freeze. So, these are the main reasons why people freeze in English conversation. Fear of mistakes, lack of confidence, small vocabulary, translating from native language, pressure to speak fast, fear of judgment, and overthinking. Maybe one or two of these reasons are true for you. Maybe all of them are true. But don't worry. Freezing is not the end. You can change this with practice and the right mindset. In the next part, we will talk about how freezing affects your English growth and why it is so important to overcome it. Now let's talk about how freezing affects your English growth. Why is this problem so serious? First, freezing stops your practice. If you don't speak, you don't practice. And if you don't practice, your English cannot improve. Speaking is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it becomes weak. Second, freezing lowers your confidence. Every time you freeze, you feel bad. You tell yourself, I cannot speak. You start to believe you are not good at English. This negative feeling makes you even more afraid the next time. So, freezing creates a cycle. Fear, arrow, freeze, arrow. No practice, arrow, more fear. Third, freezing makes you miss many opportunities. Maybe you had a chance to make a new friend, but you stayed quiet. Maybe you could have spoken to your teacher, your boss, or a foreign visitor, but you froze. Each time you stay silent, you lose a chance to grow, to connect, and to learn something new. So, freezing is not just a small problem. It has a big effect on your learning journey. The good news is, you can break this cycle. You can train yourself to stay calm, to keep talking, and to improve step by step. In the next part, I will share with you practical tips, real strategies, that can help you stop freezing and start speaking more confidently. All right, my friend. Now we come to the most important part, how to stop freezing in English conversations. Freezing is common, but the good news is you can train yourself to stay calm and keep speaking. Let me share some simple, powerful tips that really work. 1. Slow down and take a breath. The first tip is very simple. When you feel stuck, don't panic. Just pause, take a small breath, and give yourself a second to think. Many learners think they must answer very fast. But no, you don't need to rush. Even native speakers pause when they talk. Slowing down gives your brain time to find the right words. 2. Use simple phrases you can always rely on. Prepare some easy sentences you can use anytime. For example, can you repeat that, please? Let me think for a moment. I'm not sure, but I think. These phrases help you keep talking instead of freezing. They also give you extra time to think. 3. Build vocabulary. Step by step. Sometimes you freeze because you don't know the words. To fix this, learn a few new words every day and use them in your daily life. For example, if you learn the word opinion, practice saying, "in my opinion," several times. The more you use words, the more natural they become. 4. Think in English, not in your native language. This is very important. If you always translate from your native language, you will freeze. Instead, try to think in English. Start with small things. Look at your phone and say, "This is my phone." Look outside and say, "The sky is blue." When you train your brain to think in English, words will come faster in conversation. 5. Accept mistakes as part of learning. Another key tip. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Everyone makes them. Native speakers make mistakes too. Remember, your goal is communication, not perfection. If you say the wrong word, it's okay. Most people will still understand you, and they will not laugh. Mistakes are your teachers. They show you where you can grow. 6. Use body language and expressions. Communication is not only about words. You can use your hands, your face, and your tone of voice. For example, if you forget a word, you can use gestures to show what you mean. This keeps the conversation alive, and it also reduces your stress. 7. Practice with yourself before real conversations. Don't wait for a big moment like a job interview. Practice every day with yourself. You can talk to yourself in front of a mirror, or record your voice, or explain something in English while cooking or walking. The more you practice alone, the more ready you will feel with other people. 8. Stay calm under pressure. Finally, remember that pressure is normal, but you can train your mind to stay calm. One way is to tell yourself positive words before speaking. I can do this. It's okay if I make mistakes. I will speak slowly and clearly. When you control your thoughts, your brain feels safe, and you don't freeze as much. So, my friend, these are 8 powerful ways to stop freezing in English. Slow down and take a breath. Use simple, safe phrases. Build vocabulary step by step. Think in English, not your native language. Accept mistakes. Use body language. Practice with yourself. Stay calm under pressure. If you follow these steps, little by little, you will freeze less and less. One day, you will notice you are speaking freely, without fear. In the next part, I will share a daily practice routine you can use to make these tips part of your life. Now, my friend, I want to give you a very simple daily routine. If you follow this routine, even for just 15 minutes a day, you will see big improvement. This routine will train your brain, your mouth, and your confidence. Here it is. Step 1. 5 minutes of self-talk. Stand in front of a mirror or sit in a quiet place. Talk to yourself in English. You can say what you are doing, what you will do later, or how you are feeling. For example, I am drinking tea. Later, I will go to the market. I feel happy today. This exercise helps you think in English and speak without pressure. Step 2. 5 minutes of shadowing. Choose a short video, podcast, or dialogue in English. Play it and repeat the words after the speaker. Try to copy their speed, tone, and pronunciation. This is called shadowing. It makes your speaking faster and more natural, and it reduces the time your brain needs to find words. Step 3. 5 minutes of real or online practice. Finally, practice with another person if possible. You can talk to a friend, a classmate, or even join an online speaking group. If you don't have a partner, talk to an AI or record yourself answering simple questions like, "What did you eat today?" or "What is your favorite movie?" So, just 15 minutes a day. 5 minutes of self-talk. 5 minutes of shadowing. 5 minutes of practice with another person or recording yourself. This short routine, if you do it daily, will make you more confident and will help you avoid freezing in real conversations. Next, I will share some motivation and closing thoughts to remind you why you should keep going, even when it feels hard. Before we finish today's episode, I want to leave you with some motivation. My friend, if you freeze in English conversation, please remember, you are not alone. Almost every English learner goes through this stage. Freezing does not mean you are bad at English. It simply means your brain is adjusting to a new skill. Think about this. When a baby learns to walk, they fall many times. But do they stop trying? Number. They stand up again and again until one day they walk with confidence. Learning English is the same. Freezing is just one of those small falls on your way to success. Also, remember this. Your goal is not to speak perfect English. Your goal is to communicate. People want to hear your ideas, your feelings, your story. They don't care if your grammar has mistakes or if your accent is different. What matters is connection. So, next time you feel nervous, tell yourself, it's okay. I will try. I can do this. Even if you freeze for a moment, just breathe, smile, and continue. Every time you try, you get stronger. Step by step, your confidence will grow. And one day, you will look back and say, "Wow, I used to freeze, but now I can speak freely." So don't give up. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself. Your English journey is not about being perfect, it's about making progress. In the last part, I will say a quick goodbye and give you a small reminder before we close. All right, my friend, we have come to the end of today's podcast. I hope this episode helped you understand why you freeze in English conversations and how you can overcome it. Remember, freezing is normal, but you can reduce it step by step with practice, confidence, and the right mindset. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Keep practicing every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Small steps lead to big results. This is Jason, wishing you success and confidence in your English journey. Take care, keep speaking, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.